wants to hear the story of how I single-handedly got my school shut down for a month while I was in high school. Be me. Sophomore year. A loner, for the most part. Have a few friends, but they aren't that close. I ride my bike everywhere. My mom is preggo with a girl, due in a few months. Dad's at work a lot, gets called in a lot, so I get to spend actual time with him maybe once a week. One Saturday, Mom is having a baby shower while Dad is at work. Guess guys aren't allowed to be at baby showers. Mom gives me $40 and tells me to go to the mall or the movies and get food or whatever while she has the baby shower. Ride bike to the mall, don't really know what to do. Walking around different stores, I end up at Spencer's, looking at all the different gag toys when I see it. Ass spray. Spray a little in the air and smell. Putrid. If you have never had the displeasure of smelling this stuff, imagine leaving a cooked egg and a massive wet shit in a jar for a good week, and then opening it to take a whiff. It's horrible. One of the worst smells I could think of. First thing that comes to my mind is weaponizing this stuff. Millions of ideas are flooding my head at once. This is too good to pass up. I buy it. For once, I couldn't wait for the weekend to end and go back to school. Monday, in first period class. I'm wearing a long hoodie with my hand tucked into the sleeve, with my hand gently holding the spray bottle. You have to be really cautious with this stuff. One misspray will leave your clothes reeking with the stench. This stuff is no joke. It's really strong. I'm surprised you don't have to be 18 to buy it. That's how powerful it is. Just looking around the room, waiting for an opportunity to spray something. I get a better idea. About a minute before class is over, I nonchalantly walk over to the door and give a single spray. Just one. No one caught me. 30 seconds later, a kid from the back yells, "Yo, did someone rip ass?" Silently snicker. More kids from the back smell it. Then the middle. It eventually makes its way to the front. Everyone rushes to get out of the classroom. A dude literally shoved a girl out of the way just to get out of class first. All of this from just one spray. No one person should have the power to cause this much chaos, yet I possess this gift in the palm of my hand. The class incident spreads around the school by lunchtime. I get excited as I quietly eat my sandwich, hearing some classmates talk about how awful the smell was. A few days pass. I've been contemplating different uses for spray. Today was a rainy day. During lunch, everyone packs into one of the buildings that has 2 floors. Bingo. About 200 kids on the upper floor. I was talking to one of my only friends. We were at the very end of the hallway. Decide it's too crowded up here, we should move to the bottom floor. I haven't told him about the ass spray, and, well, I don't intend to. Not really close with anyone, can't trust him to keep a secret. As we're walking down the hallway, I'm cradling the spray in my hand, tucked away into my hoodie sleeve. As we're walking and talking, I'm giving the occasional spray. No one is noticing yet. Finally, the commotion starts at the end of the hall where we started. It's quickly making its way towards us. Everyone is distracted, which gives me the opportunity to spray some more. Finally, the friend starts smelling it and covers his nose. I play along and act as if I'm disturbed as well. At this point, everyone is trying to rush downstairs. Kids are getting knocked over, everyone is screaming. Teachers are coming out of their classrooms to assess the commotion. They obviously figure it out right away. Friend is trying to get downstairs too. I'm just watching all of the disorder that I've created. Fight off the urge to give an evil laugh. Next week, talk of the smelly building dies down. Perfect time to stir the pot. Over the weekend, I bought a box of disposable gloves so stench doesn't stay on my hand, thinking of my next victim. At lunch, I hear Haley with her friends. Class hottie, but 10 out of 10 bitch. Typical doesn't show you any kindness unless you're a jock or as hot as her type. Having a typical popular girl discussion, basically just trash-talking anyone that isn't her. Time to ruin the one thing most important to her, her hair. I take a straw and some paper. I run to the bleachers and hide underneath them. Glove up and soak up a paper wad with the spray. Shove it into the straw, use a twig to get it in the middle. Toss gloves. Run back over to the table. Her back is facing me. I quickly launch a spitball to her hair. It rests just perfectly in her hair. Give it about a minute.
Did one of you fart?
The girls get up and move, but the smell is attached to Haley. They find out that the smell is coming from her, specifically her hair. Haley starts crying. Everyone is noticing the commotion. They make comments on her hair. She runs to the bathroom crying and embarrassed. She's now known as the girl who doesn't wash her hair. That feeling when you disrupt the social hierarchy of your class with a single spitball. I was fond of the spitball idea. I used that several more times over the next week. Landed it in people's hoodies and backpacks. They all would eventually notice the smell. It's like a discreet projectile fart bomb. The stuff is so strong it was like engaging in chemical warfare. One lunch I noticed Bryce. Haley was an angel compared to this meathead. Football player, huge belly, specifically made nasty comments towards kids with known disabilities right within earshot. It's a Friday night, home game tonight. Perfect time to test out my new device. Same concept as the spitballs, but I poured some of the spray into a squirt gun. If one spray can clear out a room, imagine soaking someone's clothes in it. Luckily, I also know where his locker is. I don't even need to break in. The lockers have little holes like pick-related. Right after school, I run up to the locker room. All of his football gear is in there. Pads, pants, jersey. I pull out the squirt gun and unload on every single piece of gear I can hit. I go until there is nothing in the squirt gun. The smell is leaking out of the locker already. I put the squirt gun in a plastic bag and put that into a backpack to conceal the smell. This all went down in the span of maybe 45 seconds. I got in and out quickly. The game starts in 2 hours. I better go get a ticket to the game and enjoy the show. The game is about to start. Unfortunately, I don't know what the reaction was in the locker room, but I know he isn't going to get the smell off before the game. The visiting team is already on the field. Cheerleaders and pep squad doing their thing. Finally, our team comes running around. Bryce is trailing about 10 feet behind the rest of the team. My biggest regret this night is not recording the game. Kickoff. Visiting team's ball. Bryce tackles the guy, immediately shoves Bryce off of him. Ref runs over to give a penalty, gives Bryce a nasty look. I shit you not, I swear I lip read from the ref, "You smell like shit." I'm giggling in the stands like a weirdo. The game continues. Eventually, we have the ball. Bryce is going to hike the ball. The guy behind him is crouched down with Bryce, maybe 2 feet away from him. I must have squirted his pants thoroughly. He's delayed from calling the hike. He stands up, takes his helmet off, and vomits right on the field. The crowd is disgusted. I was dying from laughter. The game gets delayed while the field gets cleaned up. The coach benches Bryce. The team and cheerleaders don't even want to be near him. Eventually, the coach kicks Bryce out of the game and into the locker room to change. The crowd is confused as hell. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in the stands, proud to be the one who ruined that bully's reputation. Also, we lost the game. After the squirt gun incident, I was out of the spray, so I ordered 2 more models online. The chemical attacks would be put on hold until they shipped. That following Monday, everyone knows what happened. He's humiliated. His football friends hate him. Girls don't even want to talk to him. No one can let him live down what happened. He sits by himself now. I so wish I had friends to tell, but it's better this way. Anyone who knows could reveal my identity. Over the next week, everyone is talking about the smells potentially being a prank. My name is never dropped. I'm way too under the radar. Or so they think. They all suspect someone popular is doing this since it has mostly been cool kids getting hit. This needs to go down as a legend at this school, but I need a name. Fart Boy? Nah, lame. Sinister Stink. Getting better. No, I got it. Shitstorm. From this day forward, Shitstorm will haunt the school. Shitstorm strikes when you least expect it. Just in the nick of time, 2 fresh bottles of ass spray came in the mail. I'm spreading the word of Shitstorm through several random chemical attacks. During lunch, while no one is looking, I'd open their backpacks and spray a few times. I'd go to the locker room while it was empty and spray someone's clothes, not to the extent I hit Bryce with, though. If people left their hoodies unattended, you guessed it. I pre-wrote a bunch of handwritten notes that I'd leave with every single person. You've been nose-punched by this cynical shitstorm. It doesn't take long for word to spread. It's even caught wind with the faculty and teachers. We get an announcement on the speakers one day from the principal. To paraphrase, whoever is making the entire school smell, when you are caught, you will be punished to the full extent of our school code. That won't stop me. The reign of shitstorm has only just begun. After that announcement, though, I ease up on all the attacks. Not because I was scared, no. Because homecoming was on its way. Of course, it was all part of the plan. I had to put everyone at a state of ease, making them feel like the prank was over. Oh no. This was just the calm before the shitstorm. I went ahead and purchased 10 bottles of ass spray. Here was the plan. I knew exactly where the ventilators for the auditorium were, where the homecoming was being held. During lunch, the Friday before homecoming, I walk into the room with the ventilators, tied a shoelace around the doorknob, and hid an old backpack with an old Scream mask for Halloween I used years ago, and a change of clothes, hoodie, jeans, and an old running shirt. I also hid a wire hanger in the indoor bleachers. This will come into play later. In total, I had 11.5 bottles of spray. Get 10 plastic bags and 10 old socks. Put the socks in the bags, dump an entire bottle of ass spray per bag. They were completely soaked in the spray. I straight up almost vomited during this part from the concentrated smell of ass. I seal the bags. Those all go into a fanny pack as well as some extra rubber gloves and the remaining bottle and a half of spray. The planning is over. Now to carry on with the execution. It's the night of homecoming. I get my suit on with my fanny pack tucked in. I get in. The place is packed with people from all grades, probably around 400 of them. Get into the bleachers and grab my hanger. Thankfully, no one had moved it. Walk outside to the back exit. Walk over to the door with ventilators inside. It's locked, as expected. I untwist the hanger so it's one long hook. I shove it under the door, move it around, and twist it a couple times. Yank it out. The shoelace was raveled around the hook. I pull on the shoelace, opening the door from the inside. I get in and close the door. The hard part is over. Since the door is locked from the outside, I can take my time executing this next part. Change over my clothes to my hoodie and mask. Take all the socks out of their bags and have them all ready in the fanny pack on my side. God, the stench was putrid. Gather everything into the backpack, including the hanger and shoelace. I glove up and get the remaining bottles of ass spray out. I pour them right into the ventilators. It'll take a minute to hit. Only one more step of the plan. I step out of the ventilator room and am outside the back of the auditorium, wearing my hoodie, mask, and backpack. My fanny pack is open with my socks. I take a deep breath. It's time to run like hell. I charged in there like a maniac, throwing the smelly socks as I was running across the auditorium. It was a two-front attack, by air and by ground, both executed by me. Everyone was scared. Seeing a guy in a hoodie and a bloody Scream mask sprinting towards them would scare anyone. I wasn't so much aiming for people as I was spreading the socks to maximize stink. The socks were dripping wet. I'm sure people were getting sprayed by the wet socks getting tossed around. I throw my last sock and charge out of there as quick as possible. The adrenaline is real. It felt like I was in there for maybe 5 minutes, but it couldn't have been longer than 20 or 30 seconds in reality. As I was running out, I heard everyone going apeshit over the smell. I couldn't stay for the aftermath. I couldn't afford getting caught. As I'm running away from the school, I'm taking off everything and shoving it into different people's trash cans. I ran 3 miles back home. I never felt a thrill like that. I sneak inside and hop in the shower. I check Facebook and see people from school posting about what happened. Shitstorm just ruined our homecoming. I just had to trash my suit because of shitstorm.
Thank you for making homecoming interesting, shitstorm.
School had to close down for a month so they could get rid of the stench. 2 weeks we had off. Other 2, we had to get portable classrooms. Apparently those ventilators also leaked into the classes. Made the school news. Someone anonymously said I ruined the high school for them. 99% it was Bryce. Junior year. Shitstorm was more of a vigilante at this point. I'd hit kids who I deemed deserved it. Bryce is trying to make his way up the food chain by bullying again. Sad enough, it was working. He was making girls laugh, and he's socializing with all the cool kids again. This time, I was going to hit home for him. Literally. At this point, Bryce had a car. Spoiled fuck. After school, I took note of the car he drove. I knew the general area he lived in, but not the exact house. I ride around with my bike until I found it. The shit is about to hit the fan. I had no classes with Bryce this year, so he wouldn't notice if I took a day off of school. Dumb meathead left his window cracked. Thinks living on the second story wouldn't matter. Shitstorm has already established he can hit you from above. Actually offended Homecoming didn't leave that impression on him. After him and his parents leave, I climb onto the roof and open his window, obviously using rubber gloves to not leave fingerprints. I spray the fuck out of everything in his room. Clothes, bed, pillow, closet. I saw his cat chilling on the nightstand, just observing. Spray the fuck out of his cat. I go home and play Xbox for the rest of the day. Next day at school, I hear the news.
Shitstorm got his cat.
Keckles. Ride my bike by his house after school. 2 vans with professional cleaners are parked outside of his house.